Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta is expected to announce the abolition of import levies and taxes, among others, on some financial services as he prepares to present the 2017 budget in Parliament. On Thursday, the minister has also been challenged by the minority in Parliament to walk the MPP's talk of scrapping VAT on electricity plus the energy sector levies. The minority is also looking forward to hearing the Minister of Finance say, "We will continue with the ongoing road projects started under the NDC government."
His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo has already raised enough expectation for all of us to want to contemplate what will be in the budget. It's the maiden budget of the government. By the last count, before the elections, the MPP government had made 29 promises to the people of this country. Only one was quantifiable. That is to say that by the end of their tenure, they will provide potable drinking water to all Ghanaians. They have toyed with the idea of introducing free SHS. They are looking at the unemployment situation, and they want to create job opportunities for our team in unemployed youth. They have talked about nuisance taxes. They believe that those taxes stifle the private sector from investment and growth.
Including the energy sector levy.
Energy sector levy, they have since abandoned that promise. So I don't want to be tempted to believe that they will reduce them. So, to be honest with you, and then in his maiden State of the Nation address, Nana Akufo-Addo, the President of the Republic, said all the questions that were raised had answers in the budget. So everybody will look in to see those answers in the budget. So tomorrow will be an important day. It will be a make or break. I mean, it will set the MPP either on a firm foundation to catalyze the growth of this country, or it will give the people of this country an inkling of how disastrously the party will perform. So
you heard me today. I mean, they keep revising their vocabulary. As they now get closer to reality, the vocabulary is changing from their manifesto of collapsing now to say we will revamp. In the State of the Nation, talk about restore. Gradually, the reality is being dawned on them that the issue of national health insurance is about the funding gap. And this is something that had been done in 2005 together with ILO, that by 2010, the funding source will run out with the way it was being run. So the issue is, how do you finance it? Yes, what we had said in our manifesto of 2016 that we're going to use part of the annual budget funding amount to up the funding source. My expectation is that in this budget, they should come and tell us how they are restoring it. Because if it is the same 2.5%, believe me, you will continue to have the same gap.
There will be tax cuts, because that's something they promised and they talked about. I'm also expecting that they will give us how much it's going to cost government to embark on the free SHS program and where the monies will be coming from. I will also be expecting that they will touch on issues relating to water, and of course the Anyako water issue is something that President Akufo-Addo himself talked about during his campaign at a point, as well as the Keta Fishing Harbour. I'm not expecting that they will introduce new taxes. My expectation largely is that it will be a budget that will actually give direction as to how young men and women will be getting fresh jobs. You know, so it must obviously be one targeted at job creation.
Let's do some analysis now. And joining me in the studio is Benjamin Yeboah. He's president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association. You're welcome on today's big story.
Thank you very much.
You have
That's a point of correction. I'm not the president. I'm actually a national
representative.
National representative, great. So you have a list of issues you want tackled by the finance minister when he comes to Parliament. Let's start with your taxes that you want to be reduced, the import, special import taxes, you call it.
Yeah, thank you very much. You see, like I told you earlier, the point is we really had a lot, judging from what the noise we made last year. But then we listened to the President's State of the Nation address, and we picked certain issues. Now we know, even though we knew we owed, now we know that there are some other deficits which have now come up. So now we are going to be quite measured in our demand. So looking at the budget coming up tomorrow, we are looking, like I discussed earlier, the 3% flat VAT rate. Like I said, that is not actually a reduction in tax. It's actually restoring something that we discussed with Finance Ministry some years back, which they understood and took it on board, making that collection of that tax simplified, computing it by the traders simplified, so that it makes collection easier. But now they took it back to the 70.5 standard rate, which we felt was cumbersome. So we are asking that it's restored, so that one, it increases what we call revenue, because now there will be higher compliance, and two, it's easier to compute. So that one, we don't really see it as even a reduction in tax, but rather making it a simplified tax system that will cut across the informal sector.
I remember you talked about the special import levy.
Yeah, that is where we are also looking for some relief, in the sense that it was somewhere around 2011, 2012 that it was introduced. The Finance Ministry then told us that government needed revenue. That is why they introduced it. But with time, we're told that it will be taken off when the sun sets, where the sun has never set till now. So now we expect it to be taken off. To us, cumulatively, we are paying so much at the ports, almost over 50% of CIA value. That's cost insurance rate. That's a lot. And to us, all the other taxes or duties and charges are in a way revenue for government. So we should get some sort of relief, but at least taking that 3% special import levy. I mean, I don't think we are asking too much.
You also have a third issue, and you're talking about some utility costs.
Yeah,
you say
the third issue we felt would rather inure to the benefit of government in the long term to Ghanaians. In that, look, our industries are collapsing. And if this government really wants that one district, one factory to work, then they have to look critically at those issues, tariffs on utilities to those industries, so that they get some relief and make their overhead costs a bit reasonable for them to compete. Otherwise, it will be very difficult. You might get the factories, but you realize that their overhead costs will be so high, making their prices that expensive. And if they want to create jobs and eventually have some effect on the currency, then they better start looking at that tariffs on utilities.
All right, let's listen to what Ghanaians, especially out there, expect from the Minister of Finance as he prepares to deliver the State of the Nation. He prepares to deliver the 2017 budget statement scheduled for Thursday in Parliament.
As a student of policy, I'm expecting that most of the sectors that need a buffer must come in strongly. For example, agriculture, because what am I saying? Though Ghana is growing as an economy, but as every economy grows, it means that if its agric base in terms of contribution to the GDP must be lower, not in terms of quantum base. But what we realize in Ghana is that over the years, we see the quantum production going down, and that also makes the contribution to GDP very lower. But if we increase the production in the agri sector, it means that they will be able to feed the industries. And so we see that the overall GDP will be growing, though the contribution of agri will be lower, and industry will be growing in geometric series. We see that. So it's important for sector like agri to come in strongly, and sector like services to also come in strongly.
In fact, for me, Ghana, I don't see any economy safe for us to be appointing anybody to be that. Because virtually we have no economy.
because we can't even, our statistical records are poor. So for me, so long as we have all our statistics are wrong, I don't see anything called economy for us to even appoint somebody to be a minister for finance, because your statistical service is not functioning. So every figure you bombard around, you always get it wrong. So for me, it is the normal thing, as usual.
I'm a service person. I wish what is circulating around now will be put into the budget, which is the increment of the national service money. I wish it to be put into the budget. That's what I'm waiting for.
Expectations are very high. In fact, previously, everybody was complaining about the financial position of the country and everything, and a new government has been put in place. So I think Ghanaians are expecting a lot from this government.
Well, once I heard President Nana Addo talk about the implementation of the free SHS, I became very happy, because it's one of the reasons why I personally voted for him, and I think that I'll be expecting the budget reading to include that particular topic, which is how to be able to manage and also finance the free SHS. So that is what actually I'll be looking out for, how it to be rolled into the system and everything. So that's my expectation.
I'm expecting a lot from the finance minister, particularly on the employment issue. If there's going to be a budget for those who haven't gotten employment, and then assigning a particular budget that they will create something for them. Yeah.
They said they were going to take care of some parts of the taxes that employees, business owners pay. So I want to see that thing has been taken care of, because when it goes down, when the taxes go down, more people are willing to pay. But when it's so high, you see people shying away from paying. So what I want to see is that has been taken care of. And also this free SHS thing, I want to see that there has been something. Recently I heard that they said they are going to touch the Heritage Fund. For me, I don't know if that is okay or not, but I want to know that something has been put in aside for that, and it's not going to be a mere talk, but it will happen for real.
My expectations for reading this budget is to know how the free SHS is going to be financed, and then where the funds are going to come from. And also, we want to know, in the near future coming, we want to know how and how much we will spend within this year. Yeah.
My expectation will be there were a lot of promises that they made during their campaign. And as campaign is over and we've elected him into office, Ghanaians are expecting him to make our life better. So the budget, what we are expecting, the things that he promised, that he will improve the living conditions of Ghanaians. There was so much hardship. And then when we talk about the economy, the dollar too is getting out of hand. And he did promise about the petroleum levy. So we are expecting him to do something about it, because the fuel prices have gone high, and then it's affecting everything. So we hope Nana, as he promised, he'll put smile on the average Ghanaian.
I know, Benjamin, you are more concerned about your businesses and how the businesses will thrive, but having listened to the public, members of the public, having listened to members of parliament, one of the things that featured in all they've been saying is the promise by the NPP government: one district, one factory, one district, 1 million, it says one district, one factory, yeah, one constituency, $1 million, and he talks about one village, one dam. These are some of the things that people will be expecting the MPP to tell us how they intend to do. We know they've said they're going to get funds from the private sector, or it's going to be driven by the private sector? What would you be expecting to hear on some of these things?
Well, I'm more particular with putting proper foundation on these things, because any hard work measures will really affect us in the long run. You know, people are expecting so much, and you're eager to really satisfy them. You try to put certain things in place that will make them smile, but it might be short-lived. So yes, now we know the situation from the president. So now they should put some measures. Initially, it might not be that rosy, and people should be ready to accept it. It's always important being very frank with the people. Let them know how the situation is. Then gradually, look, it's a 4-year mandate that they have. And definitely we're going to judge them by 4 years. Whether they did well or not will depend by 4 years how we see them. But I would expect that they do the right thing, not rushing into taking any decision that will just give us some leeway within a short time, and then going back to some hardship. Get it right from day one. It's extremely important. They should be very careful they don't play to the gallery.
Exactly. So, and you also listen to the unemployment. It looks like a lot of people are talking about unemployment, and that's a big bother to us. Just yesterday, we heard that TV3 has sacked over 40 employees of the station, and so it's one of the biggest things that people will be expecting. And you also have your expectations. Let me look at how Guta's expectation of government would also play in bringing up this employment, or creating employment and doing away with the unemployment rate.
See, that's a very serious situation we have on our hand. Now we realize that there are so many people on the streets trying to do something. It just tells you that there's simply no vacancy anywhere. So I'm looking at it from that factory thing, because if you create factories, then we are going to create jobs. But then you put it right. Look at the service industries, how are they faring? You see, you have to look at all the industries. Now, the president brought up certain, is it ministries within his ambit in the presidency? Right. I'm looking at them. What are their roles they are going to play? How are they going to nurture new businesses to grow? How are they going to give that help to start up businesses? All these are very important things. And they should be up and doing, putting out information out for people to, go for. Are we going to get some credit from some places, not specifically from government? No. There should be some organizations that should be giving some. I had some time back, JICA used to give out some funds, but later we did not hear much. Then now we are hearing this Exim Bank. All these things should come to play. But then if we have access to funds that are very low in terms of the rates that we are going to pay, then people can start doing business, not going to the commercial banks. You are told to bring everything before you are giving something small. And look at the rates there. It's unbearable. So seriously, have lots of work to do.
Lots of work to do.
Unfortunately, but that is the situation.
If you listen, there are already fears out there that probably government may not be able to meet a lot of the promises it's made before elections and then coming into power. If you listen to the minority, they're talking about all the taxes they intend to scrap. They intend to scrap VAT on electricity. They intend to scrap the energy levy. They intend to scrap taxes generally, and among others. And they're expressing fear that government will be strained if they're able to do such a thing. What does Guta think about this?
One thing that we've been watching for all these years, even with this public account committee, you realize the waste in the public sector. Lots of money going to waste. So they should look for ways and means to plug those holes. If you plug those holes, there's enough income to go into ventures that will really help you, because we are really wasting money. And when the money, we realize that, yes, this is gone, do we recover them? So what are we doing? So we in the private sector, we pay so much, and then we see that we see these monies going out elsewhere. So it's for this government to recognize those places that they can plug, and then those income are channeled properly. And you'll be surprised how much money they will be getting to do all those things. Let's not forget that one too.
Okay, but you're looking at, I mean, some of the taxes coming to your benefits, some of the tax reductions coming to your benefit. But this is a point the minority is making, that yes, you want to scrap all of these. They think that the MPP said that to score political points, and that if they're able to scrap it, they are, I mean, highly expecting that the finance minister will say something like that. But they're also saying that if indeed they scrap it, they will suffer.
You see, I don't know, but you know, politicians, I realize that this government is quite smart, because then they came out through the president to tell us that there's $7 billion, and then we had $2.4 billion from the energy sector. What are they telling you? They are telling you that this is what we've come to meet, even though we know that we owe 122 billion Ghana cedis. What does that tell you? Then it tells you that whatever you are demanding, it should be commensurate with what they are telling you. So yes, we want some taxes scrap, but we will not be doing that unreasonably. No, we will not do that. Yes, we need, like I told you, the 3% to be moved so that we get some respite. But then, look, cumulatively, it's about 50% CIF value. So definitely there are some taxes that are revenue to government. So they should look at that, tighten the belt of everyone, and let's see if there are certain things they have to cut, they cut them. We all suffer together.
I think that many Ghanaians will be very disappointed if tomorrow the finance minister does not talk about how they intend to finance the free SHS. In fact, I know a lot of people will be disappointed. You know the controversy that has come up I mean, when it gave indications that it may touch the Heritage Fund. You know all the argument that came up. How does Gutta feel about all of this?
So one thing we realized, I don't think this government did its homework quite well. Because they came to us somewhere in around, was it November? What were they doing? They were searching for information, how they're going to work around it. So I'm sure they might have done their homework and they know where they're going to get the money. Otherwise, they would not be trumpeting it.
What would you be expecting to hear tomorrow on the free SHS? You're a parent,
yeah,
and I know
already they've said that it's going to take off the next academic year.
Exactly, so in September.
I'm sure that they have to put it out there and tell us how they're going to get the money. So I'm expecting it in the budget tomorrow, God willing. Well,
many thanks to you, Benjamin Yeboah, for your time on today's big story. We'll bring, okay, so we're also news just in. An accident has occurred at the Circle Interchange. It appears a truck fell off the interchange a while ago. We'll bring you more on Joy News Prime, which comes up in a bit. But we've been talking about these budget statement, 2017 budget statement, which comes up tomorrow in Parliament. The Minister of Finance has a lot of things to tell Ghanaians. Ghanaians are highly expectant of what will be coming out from that budget. And you've heard Benjamin Yeboah, he's no exception. He's also expecting a lot from the Minister of Finance. This is today's big story. We'll still be updating you on all the issues that are developing. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Enjoy the rest of our programs.